Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Bengt. Welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to be talking about how to start self-improvement. Now, this is going to be kind of a brief guide for those of you guys that are looking to get started with self-improvement, some basic essential stuff that you need to kind of realize for yourself before you begin, as well as some basic practices, some good places to start, some good things to consider, and also probably some resources along the way of things that have helped me and can probably help you and other people out there, right? So let's just start by acknowledging the fact that if you clicked on this video, obviously self-improvement is something that you are interested in, right? And chances are, if you're interested in self-improvement, you've recognized and come to the conclusion of the fact that who you are right now is not the best version of yourself. It's not who you want to be forever. And there's some things that need to change, some things that need to stay the same, and some things that need to improve. So as far as getting started on self-improvement, I would say that one of the most important things to do is, before you begin, understand that this is going to be a lifelong journey. There is no destination. There is no end goal. You do not win self-improvement. There's no final end game. You don't wake up one day and you're like, I did it, guys. I self-improved and I'm the perfect, best version of myself. It's a constant, ever-evolving thing, and you never really fully grasp, or you never really fully arrive at self-improvement, right? You can talk to any man, regardless of how successful or whatever they are in life, and I guarantee you they would probably say that, yeah, it never stops. And I can tell you for myself, after being very, very focused on self-improvement and stuff like that for many years, although I have noticed and acknowledged my growth and my continued kind of evolution, I still feel nowhere close to where I could and want to be. But when I look at how far I've come, it's very obvious to me that there's a lot of areas of my life that I've made significant progress in. But I will tell you that that progress took place over the course of 4 to 5 years, and it was not an overnight thing. A lot of internal mental work, a lot of spiritual work, a lot of physical work. All aspects of my life have improved dramatically as a result of putting priority on those 3 things. And even when it got hard, sticking with it. Even when I didn't feel like doing it, sticking with it. And understanding that self-improvement as a journey is cyclical. You're gonna have your ups and your downs, and there might be some habits, there might be some traits about yourself, there might be certain things that you do that you don't want to do, or that you want to improve on. And you might make a lot of progress and then, relapse or revert and kind of fall back. And that's totally fine. Sometimes the self-improvement journey involves a lot of 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You push yourself really hard, you get to a new level, you feel it out, you get your feet wet at that level, and then sometimes you got to kind of take a step back and be like, all right, I know that if I want to go there and sustain it, there's a couple other things I got to fix and work out first. So don't ever feel dissatisfied, or don't ever give up if you feel like you've made progress and then you hit a setback of some sort, because that is totally natural. That is totally something that is guaranteed to happen. And I don't want you to get discouraged when you commit to yourself and you probably have a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of motivation when you first start. However, once you get really tested, that's oftentimes when the motivation and the enthusiasm and the passion and all of those things have typically faded, because it got hard now, right? Starting anything is easy. Sticking with and seeing something through to the end is oftentimes a lot more difficult, because you're going to have to rely a lot more on determination, on will, on consistency, and on discipline than ambition, motivation, excitement, and kind of that feeling of starting something new and you're all gung-ho about it. And then you still kind of have this uninformed optimism as far as like, oh shit, I'm just going to become fucking jacked in a year, and I'm going to do this, this, and this. I'm going to change all these things overnight, which is another thing that I'm going to touch on in a second here, because I myself am guilty of this, and I know a lot of guys also are. You watch a video, right? You read a book, you see something new, someone talks about this, you hear this new idea, and you think, oh, that's something that's really good, I should implement that, whether it be like a habit or a part of a routine or a mental kind of mindset or some sort of framework for how you see certain things or whatever. And people just try to implement all of these things at once. When guys start self-improvement, for them it might mean quitting porn, quitting smoking, start going to the gym, start eating healthy, going to bed on time, waking up early, starting to read books, not playing video games. And it's like there's a million fucking things, all these different components of their life that they're now seeking to change, and completely think that they can just flick a switch overnight and they're going to become this new person, which is 110% not going to work, right? I would suggest, before you start your self-improvement journey, right, the most beneficial thing that you could do is to start by looking at the aspects of your life, the habits, the routines, the people, the personal traits that you have, the mindsets, the belief systems that you possess that are holding you back the most. You will make much more progress much quicker by eliminating the negative things that are holding you back in your life than you will by trying to implement 1,000 positive things, right? Starting to eat healthy and eliminating junk food from your diet is gonna do as much, if not more, for you than starting to go to the gym, right? You can go to the gym every single day and you can work your absolute ass off in the gym. However, if you go home and you eat Wendy's, well, going to the gym did absolutely nothing. And that's just one example of how eliminating something negative first is inevitably going to just help you in the long run. So 110%, before you begin this journey, take some time to reflect, take some time to meditate. And I encourage you to remove your ego, look into the mirror, and be as completely honest with yourself as you possibly can. Because the things that you need to start with that are affecting you negatively the most are the things that your brain is going to try to rationalize, justify, hide, and tell you are not things that you need to change. If you're the type of person, and this is just an example, I don't want to single out stoners in particular, because I was one heavily, so this is just something that impacted me a lot, and I know the mindset, and I know the tricks that your brain plays with addictions and stuff like that. So you might be like, oh, well, smoking weed makes me creative, it makes me inspired, and it really helps me focus, and it takes away my anxiety. All of those things are cope. Straight up, it does not help you with any of those things. Let's be honest, those are just rationalizations that you've made in your brain to basically counter the rational, the angel on your shoulder that says, hey, you should probably stop this, right? So that's just one example. There's a million things in your life where you probably have those same thoughts, where something is harmful for you, or you want to change something about yourself, and then you start to really look at it, and your brain tricks you into saying, maybe not, what about this? Well, this thing actually does help us over here, so maybe we don't have to do that right away. Those things, when you start to think like that, that is exactly the thing that you should eliminate first. And try it out. Give it a little bit of time. Be like, all right, well, my brain is really telling me not to quit weed, which means I should probably quit smoking weed. Let me just try it for a month, and if it's, got negative results after that, fuck it, whatever. But just give it a shot and try it. After you've done your reflection, after you've taken the time to look at yourself honestly in the mirror and really sit with the most negative things that are affecting you, the next thing that's very important as well, and pretty much critical, is being patient. Like I said, this is a multi-year process. This is not an overnight journey. It's not even a journey with a destination. Understand that once you start self-improvement, once you start to take your goals seriously, once you start to want to get better at being a man and get better at life, you will never ever be satisfied. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we were talking about going to the gym and starting to see the results and starting to make gains and stuff like that. And he was like, yeah, the second that you commit to going to the gym and taking it seriously is the day that you are never ever going to be satisfied with your body ever again. And that's very much the case with self-improvement as well. The second that you decide that you want to build a better life for yourself, it'll never ever be the best. It'll never ever be that thing that you visualize and think of it as, right? You'll never reach that point where you're like, wow, everything is just great, right? By committing to self-improvement, you are committing to being the type of man that is driven by your goals, that is driven by your purpose, and your purpose will always continuously evolve and change. You will never arrive at purpose. You will never arrive at fulfillment. There's constantly going to be new things changing, shifting, and happening in your life that you feel driven and motivated towards, right? So understanding that you are taking this on for the long haul, you got to be invested in it for the long run, and you can't expect results overnight or even in a year or whatever, even though they will happen if you are consistent and disciplined with it. Now, let's talk about some things that are basically where I would start if I was to completely revert back to my old self, you know, the 18, 19-year-old me who was anxious, depressed, lacked confidence, had little to no confidence in oneself, very low self-esteem. I had social skills, but it was all fake because at the end of the day, I didn't feel very good about myself internally. I was just good at faking it in front of other people. And also, even though I was in really good shape at that point in time, I wasn't taking other aspects of my health as seriously, specifically my mental health. I was smoking a lot of weed. I have what you would, I guess, label as ADHD or whatever, so I was prescribed medication for that, which was absolutely like fucking my brain up. And I also had a couple kind of tumultuous relationships through high school and a little before that kind of just like left a bad taste in my mouth around relationships and women and dating and all of that. So I was kind of a little bit scarred and fucked up. I'm not even gonna lie, I was pretty heartbroken at the time. And that all kind of was a perfect concoction and perfect storm of me leading to kind of like rock bottom of just completely being done with life, of not knowing what the fuck was going on in my own brain, not being able to sort out my own thoughts, not knowing what my purpose or my direction or what I was supposed to be doing with myself was. And that was a very hard, challenging time because it felt like it would never end. I felt like there was no, you know, rainbow on the other side. I felt like there was no seeing through the storm. I truthfully can say that in that moment, there's probably been 2 or 3 times in my life where I felt like I was in the eye of the storm, right? Where no matter what direction you look, everything is just shit. Everything is tornado, hurricane, like, you know, stuff's going on, fuckery, and there's no way out. Like, no matter what direction you go in, there's just, you're surrounded, you're stuck in the middle, right? And you don't even remember which way you came from to get to the middle. It's just, you know, completely surrounded, and I felt like there was no way out. I felt like it would never end, and I felt very lost and confused. So if I was to go back to that time in my life, there's a couple things that I would completely change and take seriously way sooner, and that's what we're gonna get to right now. So the first one would be stop watching fucking porn. Stop. Just stop. The younger that you are when you can remove porn from your life, the better you are setting up your future to be. And like I said, the sooner you can cut that out of your life completely, the better off you are going to be, and the faster you are going to start to blossom into the man that you are supposed to be. Because if you are still watching porn, that is so detrimental, not only to your mental health, to your confidence, to your relationships with women, that's going to bleed into other aspects of your life as well. And at the end of the day, if you're like fucking watching porn, jerking off and shit, you are just absolutely 110% not going to be able to live up to your potential. You are wasting your sexual energy, which is literally your creative energy, which is going to be responsible for you developing an essence as a man, and also utilizing that energy to build other things, be productive with it, whether it be a business, your body, other stuff like that. The things that you need to accomplish success in life very much require your discipline, your focus, and your sexual energy to create, to build. As men, that's what we're here to do. I truthfully believe that's part of every man's purpose, is to create and build things, right? To create and to conquer. In order to do those two things, you need your sexual essence, and your sexual health is very much tied to your mental health as well. So if you're struggling with anxiety or depression and you're watching porn, well, cut the porn out and see what happens, right? Highly encourage you to do that. I would also eliminate smoking. I know weed is, it's socially acceptable now. It's legal in a lot of states, whatever, blah, blah, blah. If you're outside of the states, it's probably not impossible to get your hands on it there either. But I would stop smoking weed, stop smoking the vapes, bro. The vapes are fucked. Those things cost like 3 cents to make in China. They're full of chemicals and bullshit. I think that we're seriously gonna see a large impact that disposable vapes have on people. Maybe not now, maybe not in 5 years, maybe not in 10 years, but later on when Gen Z and my generation kind of age a little bit, whatever fucking Chinese chemicals are in those plastic sticks, bro, y'all are fucked. Just saying. And I'm guilty too. I smoked vapes for a long time. I've smoked cigarettes, cigars, all that. Like, I love nicotine. Unfortunately, just the type of brain that I have, the type of personality that I have, fucking nicotine is a super drug for me. Same with caffeine. So any stimulant of any sort, I'm a fucking junkie for that shit. So I have to be really careful. I've been addicted to all of this stuff. I hope you guys know that I'm not on these videos trying to be all preachy, like telling you shit that I haven't gone through personally. Bro, I've been addicted to fucking porn. I've been addicted to cigarettes, nicotine, vapes, weed, not alcohol. I was never a drinker, but if I did it consistently enough, I'd probably learn to like it and then could probably develop a problem for it if I wanted to. I just have an addictive personality in general. So anything that makes me feel fucking good, I just want more of it. It's very, very hard for me to navigate and balance certain shit in life with that piece and component of my personality, which thankfully I've recognized. I'm self-aware of it, so it helps to have that. But I would definitely cut all of that shit out, right? Start going to the gym is the next thing. I want you to think about going to the gym like building up a stock portfolio, right? Most of you guys that are watching this are probably familiar with stocks and crypto and investing and, you know, all of that stuff, right? If you're on self-improvement, you're thinking about everything. You're thinking about your physical health, your mental health, your finances, trying to be like top 1% men, right? High value men. That's what I assume anyone watching this video is thinking about, that they want to be themselves, right? So you know how stocks work. The first 10 years, first 5-6 years, whatever, you're getting tiny returns back, right? You can't live off of your dividends with $100 in your stock portfolio, right? So you get a couple cents back every month from your stocks, and over time it builds and builds and builds and snowballs and compound interest, right? And then boom, 10-15 years from now, you know, you're fucking set. Think about going to the gym the same way. You're gonna have your newbie gains. You're gonna go to the gym for a month or two consistently. You're gonna notice some fucking, you know, muscle starting to develop. You're gonna bulk up a little bit. You're gonna feel good. And then you start to hit those diminishing returns and you kind of maybe get discouraged. But don't make gym about the results. Make it a lifestyle. And like I said, think about it like stocks, like a long-term investment. Because if you start going to the gym when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, whatever, still in high school, and you adapt that as a habit and you stick with it throughout your entire adult life, bro, if you start working out when you're like 15, 16, by the time you're 30, you're gonna be a fucking animal, dude. You're gonna be a fucking beast. The shape that I was in at 18, if I had stayed consistent with the gym after that, right now, I'd be fucking huge. I was a beast in high school, bro. Physically, my body was in really, really, really good shape. I'm pretty sure my bench press might have been a little too low, but I can't do quick maths off the top of my head, but to give you an idea, I remember 360 was my best squat, 420 was my best deadlift, and my bench was like 125, 135, something like that. So my goal at the time, I was doing a lot of powerlifting, stuff like that. At 18, 17 years old, I wanted to hit the 1,000-pound club, and I was pretty close. You guys do the quick math on that and let me know if I was right in the comments. But I was right, I was knocking on the door of it. So I was in good shape then. I've blown that out of the water now, but also I'm, you know, 10 years older, right? I've had a lot of time to develop my body and become stronger and work on myself since then. But going to the gym is just such a critical habit, not only for your physical health, but I swear to God, it is impossible to be fucking depressed if you go to the gym and you work on yourself and you work on your body. As a man, to feel capable and to feel strong, like I can't think of anything else that makes you feel a little more confident, that makes you walk into the room with a little more pep in your step, with a little more drag your fucking nuts energy with a little more, put your chest out, chin high, and you fucking rock your shit, right? I can't think of anything that would make you more confident as a man than just walking in knowing that your body is capable of putting in fucking work, knowing that you've got muscles, you know what I mean, and you're physically capable of whatever situation could possibly come your way, no matter what setting you're in. That's a really, really powerful thing to unlock as a man. So definitely get in the gym. Eating habits is another one. Just stop eating the junk food, right? Be really, really careful. Fast food as a whole needs to go. I don't even care if it's fucking Subway, bro. That shit is ass still. Just look up the ingredients. You don't want none of that shit in your body. Outside of that, seed oils, be really, really careful with seed oils, bro. That shit is trash for you. Shit is fucking up your testosterone, fucking up your endocrine system. And honestly, there's just so much toxic ass food, water, drinks, whatever out there. You have to be really, really careful with your diet. And I know that it's damn near impossible to be perfect. Trust me, I try my best, but still, like, you know, it's hard to find everything at the grocery store that you need that's exactly how you want it, right? But do the best that you can. Especially if you're younger, you're in high school, you're kind of on a little bit of a budget. Maybe you can't afford to fucking spend $300 a week on groceries, whatever, I get it. But start thinking about that kind of stuff. Start doing a little bit of research and find a diet, specifically a health conscious, like as much organic, alkaline, natural stuff as you can eat within your budget, within your means, within your lifestyle, and make that work for you. So there's a million other things when it comes to self-improvement that we can talk about, but those I think would be the most important places to start, because they are going to affect you on a mental and physical level and a spiritual level. And it's going to be really great as serving as kind of the foundation for the rest of your journey that you build yourself off of. And if you can nail down those basics, everything else that comes after that is going to be much, much easier, much smoother. And those are really the things that I would focus on first. So I hope you guys found some value in this video. If you made it to the end, you already know the deal. You're a real one. I love you guys. Drop a comment if any of this resonated with you. I'd love to hear your kind of thoughts and opinions on it. Until next time, guys, stay strong, stay blessed, stay dangerous. I love y'all. I'll catch you in the next one, all right?